let's discuss the title of the book.
The title of the book.
Explain what the title of the book means.
Well, Flip Your Pyramid. The reason I chose that title is as you know, the definition of the word flip is to turn over or to, I don't know, I guess, to make a sudden or drastic change. So if you flip a boat, that means you're upright and now you're down. You're facing down.
Yeah.
Flip your pyramid. If you just imagine taking a pyramid that's sitting on the ground, right? Especially one that's near the Nile in Egypt, and flip it on its head. Okay. Imagine just the enormity of that. Just the idea, the enormity of that idea. And so, flip your pyramid. The whole concept of what we're doing has that enormous. It is that enormous. It is that what's going to be life changing. Okay?
Right.
So basically, flip your pyramid is a process of understanding or coming to, let's call it an aha moment. And when you have that aha moment, it changes the whole paradigm of the way you look at life. And once you have it, you can't go back. So in essence, the purpose of this book, and I've had to tell you this, I've had the opportunity to flip a lot of pyramids in my life. And sometimes you flip your pyramid, you change somebody's life without even knowing it.
Are you talking about your own pyramids or some other people's?
Mine, but others.
Okay.
My enjoyment comes, I've had lots of flips in my life, but my enjoyment comes when I can flip somebody else's pyramid. When I can cause somebody else to go, aha, and see something different, right? I'll give you an example. I had lunch today with a gentleman who used to work with me, work for me. He was in my sales department. And this was 20 years ago. And I introduced him to self-improvement. I introduced him to some videos I had of Brian Tracy, right? Mm-hmm. And the man at that time was about just late 50s. And all of a sudden, for the first time in his life, I put something in front of him and he started watching these videos and something, in fact, he said at lunch today, he said, it changed my life. He says, I remember exactly, it just completely opened up my whole universe, he said. And the day
he's talking about 20 years ago when he was about 50.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, and about 2.5 years after that, I had to let him go. And he talked about it. He says, you know, I knew what you were going to say that day. He says, but I'm going to tell you, Perry, I'm going to thank you because it was the best day of my life. Because it caused me to start applying the stuff that you exposed me to and you started teaching me and you were training me on it. And I started applying it. And I started my own business and I'm very successful at it. And it was because of what you did, right? And this is something I didn't even know I had that impact on him until about 2 years ago when he came to me to share something he was doing and told me about this. You know, there's other times in my life I've had that ability to have somebody all of a sudden have a ha-ha moment and change direction. What we're trying to do here with Flip Your Pyramid is have people that, you know, we know that the self-help industry is a $10 billion a year industry.
Yep.
It's 10 billion last year, 10 billion year before. Some projections going to be 11 billion this year. Yeah. You know, and so there's a lot of people out there looking for answers. There's a lot of people who are looking for that ha-ha moment. But exactly. The chances are, if we continue to be an 11, 12 billion dollar a year industry, we do that's not all new clients coming into the self-help industry. That must be a lot of existing clients,
yes,
like I was, who, you know, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars year after year buying courses, buying more books, buying courses, buying more books. And, you know, I had, during that process, a lot of flip pyramid situations, but there was also a lot of things that I did find out about. And the purpose of this book is to cover exactly what it is that the self-help industry is offering, but more importantly, what else can be done about it. So we're going to flip some pyramids, okay? And this book should do it. Now, at first, you're going to read this book and go, yeah, I know that all, right? And you probably do, right? But interesting enough, the first step of learning anything new is to decide there's something to know. There's something more to know. And if you approach this book with that approach. And that's kind of the way I've always tried to approach my life, is always looking for the next new, looking for something. What is it I'm missing? What is it I'm not aware of? You know, how can I open up my environment or my thought process or my thinking to more points of view? How can I find new ideas if I'm closed? So literally, flipping the pyramid is to help people open up so that they have this place in their life where there's an inflection, where there's a complete change of direction for the better.
Right. So you want to make sure people aren't closed-minded when they start reading and think they already know it all. So why, you know?
Well, I'm assuming when somebody buys this book that they've already decided that they may not know it all. I'm going to make that assumption.
Right.
You know, I'm making the assumption that people who buy self-help books every year are in need of change, recognize they need change. They're looking for more information. They are somewhat open to new information already, or they wouldn't be buying the next book. They would, you know, the people who are difficult to flip the pyramid are the people who don't look for new answers, who are stuck in the way they are. And this book is going to explain to them why they're stuck in the way they are and where they're at. And I don't know if we can reach those people.
That's what I was going to say. They might not be the ones that are buying the book.
They're probably not.
Yeah.
They might catch this introduction on a video. They might catch one of our blogs. They might want to catch one of our podcasts, and something may happen.
Yeah, they might prove us wrong. That would be good.
They might. But I don't know if they're going out and buying the book right now. I don't know if they're reaching. Okay? But there's hundreds, and I don't know the number, but I'm going to say 100 million people in the U.S. or the world or North America or the Western world who are reaching, right? So if you take 100 million people and they spend $100 each a year, let's do the quick math. That would be $10 billion. Okay? Or if we got 50 million people spending $200 a year, right? But it's probably somewhere around 200 million spending $50 a year.
Yeah,
that comes up to that 10 billion, and some version of it. So there are people reaching. There are people looking for answers. There are people open-minded enough to say there might be something new. The ones who think they know it all, and the ones who think they have all the information already, probably aren't going to buy this book yet.
Yet.
Until
they see other people buying the book and getting some pyramid flipping moments.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So basically, the purpose of this is to make a significant difference in the world, to change this world, to open up and you know, I think the best is yet to come when it comes to our society. You know, a lot of people look at it and say, "Oh, well, the best is behind us." No, you know, I disagree.
It's never been the case.
The best is, you know,
always ahead.
You look at a guy like Elon Musk and what he's doing, you know, and you would think, well, where's the opportunity in this economy? Well, look what the hell he's doing, right?
He's creating it. He's creating what he wants to see. It's very interesting. He's not sitting back and letting somebody else create it and him walk into the industry. He creates the industry.
Yeah, complete new industry.
That's it.
Like he put up Starlink. It's a complete new industry, right? He started Tesla, a complete new industry. He did, what was it called? PayPal, a completely new idea, a completely new payment system, a complete new industry, right? And because of PayPal, a whole bunch of banks and a whole bunch of credit card companies and a whole bunch of people had to race like hell to get ahead of them, right? Or to catch up. Right?
And this book helps you see that you don't have to have that one big aha moment. You can have millions of them. You can have them every day. You can help others have them. It's an exciting experience.
You know, I've had a lot of flip your pyramid moments with my grandson in the last 3 months. He's been working with me. And the best way I can explain it is that he has been of the opinion, we'll say to him, and it's basically so he doesn't have to accept responsibility. Don't ask me. I know nothing. I don't know. Okay. He'll say that.
I see that.
But at the same time, when you're talking to him, he knows everything. You know, like when they're 19 and 20, hire them when they know everything.
That's right.
Okay. So I did. But what's interesting is I've been sharing with him the idea of understanding what the definition of words are, and it will change your life. And so at first he would just argue with, no, that wouldn't make sense. So now what will happen is he will start using some words in a sentence, and I'll go, well, what does that word mean? He says, well, don't you know? I said, no, I don't. So can you look it up for me? And so we got into this every time he's saying something that I don't quite understand. Even if I do understand it, I will ask him to look it up, because I don't think, I'll see that he's using the word slightly out of context.
Right, right.
So I say, well, what does that word mean? I don't know. You know. And so he'll look it up, and I've seen him, as we've been doing this, changing.
Yes.
That now he's to the point where he'll start asking, he'll say, Grandpa, what does this word mean? Like out of the blue. What does so-and-so mean? I said, I don't know, look it up. So he's got Google there, and he's got his phone, and so he's looking up words now. And I can see his intelligence level coming up. I can see his engagement level. And his self-assuredness of himself is rising drastically, because he's discovered this little flip your pyramid thing, that understanding words is power. Understanding the definition of words gives you understanding of life.
Yes.
And it's completely changed him. And it's a slow, gradual change, but he will never go back to not looking at words.
That's right. Yes. And I don't see him as often, so I can really see the difference in him.
Yes.
So I know exactly what you mean. He's the same person, but he seems to have more confidence, and he's a little brighter, a little more awake.
Yep.
It's
more
nice to see.
purposeful.
Yes.
The best way I can put it is
That's a
more
good
purposeful. And I can see him coming to the point within a couple of years of saying, okay, I'm ready. Make me the manager.
Right. I could see that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so he's learning that he's flipped, because he was just a closed-minded 19-year-old
yes.
is now becoming a bright, open-minded 20-year-old. So I don't know what he looks like when he's 30, 35, 40, but if we can stay on this path and have this pyramid continually open for him, life will become his oyster.
So read the book, come back here, watch the videos, get into the discussions with us so we can keep this going, because it's a very interesting topic.
Well, I think there's some concepts of this book that are going to blow you away. There's a lot of stuff in the book you're going to say, you know, I knew that, but I didn't know it quite this way, right?
Looking at the same thing from different viewpoints.
Yeah. You know, one simple concept like, and I didn't can this isn't mine, but the whole concept called hung by the tongue, right?
Right.
It's a very interesting, powerful, and it's a broad subject, right? And it drills into, and it digs down into a very broad principle of how things and why things work a certain way in our life. So, and I call it hung by the tongue.
Right. It's in the book.
It's in the book.
That's very general, so they'll have to read it to understand it more.
Yes.
Okay.
And one of the things that I liked, one of the things that you put in the book is the red light principle. I just absolutely, and we're not talking about prostitution.
That's right. That's not why I came up with the red light.
I understand. Right. Okay.
Good. All right. I think that's a good spot.
Yes. Thank you.
Excellent.